Welcome to Knife Thoughts. This video, as you might be able to tell, is going to be an unboxing. And I normally do unboxings in front of the camera, but I got this knife, or these knives actually, in the mail and got home from work after dark. And also it has been really cold where I live recently. So I didn't want to do it that way this time. So I'm gonna open these up, just get a initial impression, quick look at them here in a tabletop style unboxing. Unfortunately, this package doesn't fit so that you can see the whole thing within my filming setup here. I think the postal service kind of is changing so that they're really kind of really putting the boot down on, you have to have the label all on one side. So it requires people to ship knives in boxes bigger than they would normally have to. But let's open this up here. I'm going to slide it a little out of the way, and I'm going to use this. Oh, by the way, these are knives from RoseCraft blades, and I'm going to use this RoseCraft blades Beaver Creek Barlow to open it. So slice some tape here. Take my, well, I guess I shouldn't have done that, but we'll kind of open this and see if we can get in here in a way that makes sense. So we'll take this out, and here we are. So looks like there's actually also some slips in here. So I have been using the RoseCraft slips for a little while already, and have really found them to be nice. I used them while I was on a hunting trip for the Otter Creek Barlow, actually, and I am going to attempt to take this box out from behind the camera without hitting the camera, and we did it. Success already, starting out with success. So a little bit of candy. I'm trying to stay away from candy, so these are always a temptation when I get them from RoseCraft blades. But this is a large slip, and this is also a large slip. So two slips to go with the two knives. And always appreciate Andy writing Knife Thoughts on here. I assume that he writes it, I'm not sure, but Andy has designed these, and these are actually the two versions of the Overall Creek Farmhand. And so this is his interpretation of the classic Sodbuster, Bullnose from GEC, Pioneer from Jack Wolf Knives, whatever you want to call it, the farmer knife, basically. And so right off the bat, there's two things that kind of interested me about these. The first is that they have checkered wood handles, and that's something that I have always thought was cool. It's something that you would see on old school rifles. Oh, it's nice. And also the second thing is the size. So Andy said that he designed these to be between the small Sodbuster, the Sodbuster Junior from Case, and the full-size Sodbuster. I don't have a full-size Sodbuster, but I do have the two versions of the farmer knife from GEC. But let's open this one. So this is, I'm forgetting off the top of my head what the wood is. Black sandalwood, I believe, is what that stands for. But kind of a typical Sodbuster shape, a little bit more curvy, I would say. Definitely pinchable. Man, look at that back spring. Really, really nice on that. It's got kind of a saber grind, so these are typically knives that are made to be heavy users, or at least that's how they're envisioned, and so the saber grind goes along with that. You can see they're relatively thick also, and that's typical for a Sodbuster. It's a nice size, so you can see I've got extra large size hands, and I get a full 4-finger grip easily. But I am going to pull out the second one first, and I think this is green sandalwood, yellow sandalwood. So Let's get this one out. And the yellow is not too much different from the black. I do like the yellow better, I think, right off the initial. It almost looks like tortoiseshell, like the different colors in it. And I do think I like the look of this one. But same deal, nice action, no blade play. It does have a bird's eye pivot, which again is traditional. And I know this one was centered. Let's see how this one is centered. Maybe a little bit off to the show side, but not rubbing. I always prefer that something is off to the show side rather than the pal side, because you push it towards the pal side when you open it with a nail nick. Probably not much, but you can see the back spring super nicely done on this also. Man, these have good quality, good fit and finish, as they say. But this checkering pattern is really interesting. It looks like it must be milled. It must not be like filed in or cut in, but rather milled, which is interesting. It's kind of like a modern way of applying that. You can see that it doesn't go to the pins. Doesn't go to the pins there. So it was applied after pinning, I assume. But I want to show you a size comparison to, at least for now, the two GEC versions of this farmer knife, or whatever you want to call it. This is the Bull Buster. So this is the larger. Let's kind of move these down so we can get this big one in frame here. And then this is the Bull Nose. So this is the smaller. And you can see it is a little smaller. It's actually not much smaller than the farmhand. So I'll show you the handles. Not much smaller for sure. I would say pretty close to the farmhand. But I do think that the Bull Nose is larger than Case's Sod Buster, which I should have gotten it out before starting the video, but I'm gonna dig it out for you. So this is the Sod Buster Junior. And you can see that the Sod Buster Junior is noticeably smaller than the farmhand. I don't have a Case full-size Sod Buster. I should probably just get one, but I don't have one to show you. But you can see how this farmhand would be between the Sod Buster Junior and the full-size Sod Buster. But as usual, clearly these are made really nicely. Very nice tolerances, or fit and finish, like I say, whatever you want to call it. You can see that they are D2 steel. Nice action. Very deep. They sit very deep in the frame, which is frame or blade well, which is one of the things with the GEC's Sod Busters. Sometimes the tips don't sit so deep in the blade well, so I always appreciate that. And then you don't really have to worry about blade wrap on these because they have a stop pin, but still have nice walk and talk. Actually, it's not a super strong pull. I would call it like honestly, a 5 or 4.5, we'll say, something like that. But you can see that they snap well. So I'm gonna go ahead and start carrying and using this one. I think it's gonna make a nice user. Hopefully I'll get another deer that I can use this to field dress, but we'll see. Knock on wood. But thank you as always to Andy for sending these along for me to check out and review. If you would like to see the full review, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and select all so you know when I post new videos. Check out my website, knifethoughts.com, where I post articles on knives like this and knife-related topics, and subscribe to the email newsletter there. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.